Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode here on Truly Bedrock. I am your host BJ, and here we are in the shopping district with the Iron Maiden in the background. And of course I did this on the last stream. It was our 1 year anniversary stream, and I'm not at all happy, well I shouldn't say I'm not at all happy with it, but I certainly think this could be better. It's got a good start, and I got some work to do on it, but I think I can make this work better. Let's see if anybody has bought any of the iron I restocked last week. No, they did not. That's all right. I got almost a stack of diamonds out of the last bit, so I've been having to AFK at my farm back in my area a little bit to try and rebuild. Hey, do we still have... Oh yeah, we still got Gordon Sumner. Hey there, buddy. We still got Buzz over here. Buzz. We do have him. But yeah, I've been AFKing back at the base to try and get enough iron to restock this. And so I have a couple of projects. So as I talked about in the last Truly Bedrock episode, not the live stream, I have a bunch of projects I want to get finished before the end of Season 1. And this is certainly one of them. And I'm going to get this one done today, I think. And let's go look at the other two that I have to get finished. Starting with this area first, this is the, if you guys are familiar from other videos or from our previous ones or other members of TB, this is the little drop zone down to the end portal, which by the way, Silent recently built an Ender in there, which I am really looking forward to seeing because those things are super hard to build in Bedrock compared to Java. But Zloy had marked off this area with this red block above to do something with it when he'd built some of these other things that are out there. We'll talk about that in a second. And but he didn't really have any plans for what to do above. He did something below, which we'll take a look at in a second. And pardon me. As he built his little cool stuff underneath it, we'll look at in a second. One of the things I found is that there's a perfect little spot right here for a drop and a return down to the end portal that I'm going to build. So I'm going to build something on this island as one of my projects to complete the drop down to the Ender, and then we'll wipe all this out and either build something else over it or just kind of make it a pretty landscape or something like that. But let's go over and look at this really quick before we go on to my other projects. This is something that Daphne Elena built. She came back to the server last week and built this awesome kind of totem looking thing. Link to her video up in the right hand corner if you want to go look at that. And look at me. I'm down here on the bottom. I'm the pillar, baby. I'm the bottom of the pile. Wait, is that good or bad? What are you saying there, Daphne? Of course, you have Killa and Zloy. If we can back up a little bit, up with their heads up in the clouds. Whenever the clouds are in here, those two, you can't actually see them. So I'm the bedrock or the bottom guy, and they have their heads up in the cloud, which makes perfect sense to me. But let's check out Zloy's little building here that he did down below. And I think the entrance is over here. Hopefully it doesn't kill me, knowing me. I probably will. But this is the entrance to his like underground lair. Okay, good. I didn't die. All right. So this is, he's been building all this down here. Hopefully this is not a spoiler. I know it's been here for a little while, but I'm not 100% sure if he's been showing this off on all of his videos or not. But, oh, we got like a little trapped slime block in there. And we got a creeper. Oh, this is like a jail. Oh, that's hilarious. But right here is the Ender, or the Ender portal to the Ender, I should say. And he built this really cool room for it. And so these are those little drop shafts. There's one coming down here, and then there's another one right here that I cleaned out. So I'm going to go up and build something up on the surface as my next task. And then that way we'll have a direct access to get to the end portal. And here's Silent's Ender. Of course, it's working, and there's this bug going on right now. No one's been able to figure out. Well, I bet Silent knows why. But you can kind of see him off to the sides just a little bit. You'll see him kind of float by here every little bit. There's a bunch of wither skulls from a wither that was killed over here. And their skulls just keep flying by whenever you come out. And there's a possibility that one of them is going to hit the Ender. Oh, there's one right there and destroy something. Oh, that doesn't happen. But here's the little spot where the Endermen come to. And if you guys have not seen this and you don't know much about Enders on Java or Java versus Bedrock, on Java, you can't just, on Bedrock, you can't do like you can on Java and just have a big platform where they all drop down. There's this funkiness in how they transport from one platform to another and how they spawn. That means you have to have this platform up here that are near where they spawn, but then you have these other ones where they kind of skip their way down to a point that they will stop here and not be damaged, and then you can kill them. So let's go up here really quick in the minecart, and you can see where the little AFK spot is up here. And we'll just do a couple of Endermen so you guys can get a sense of what it looks like when this is actually working. Oh, you're supposed to actually stay in your cart. But then here, that's where right here. We'll watch for a second and you'll start seeing Endermen coming in here and burning as they work their way down. And there you go. You saw a bunch of them coming down, dying, or starting to die or take damage as they land on these little fire pads. And then they work their way right down here. And you come back down and then you just kill them. So I have an ender that I've used on Java for years that is so much more efficient than this. Not because of the way that this is designed. This is actually an awesome design by Silent. This is about as efficient as you can get on Bedrock, but it's kind of a shame that we can't kill them as quickly or as frequently, because the XP that I'm getting from this is great, but it's not, I don't know that it's that much better than some of the other ones. I do think maybe the Guardian farm is maybe a little faster than this, but it's okay. This is actually still really handy to have, and of course getting all these ender pearls is also very handy. And he's got a little cart collector down there below it, which is really handy to pick all of them up. And there we go. So there you go. The ender on Truly Bedrock. And then for our third project today, we have the Nether tunnel. I've been wanting to work on this for a while, and I mentioned it in a short live stream I had earlier this week. I kind of showed how this had been extended down and did a little bit of work on the area around the portals. This had been about to maybe right in here somewhere, and somebody came in and finished the tunnel all the way down to right here, which I really appreciate. So whoever did that, thank you very much. I really appreciate your help, because otherwise I might not have ever gotten this done. I didn't have any purple dye for this stuff. So I really appreciate that. Now, while this is a third project that I talked about today, it's probably going to be the first project that we work on today. And because I really want to get this just done down to about right here. I think this goes down to maybe Rogue Fox had extended down to his base from right here, but I at least want to get it down to right here. And I think the way that I should try and do that is I have on my iPad, I've connected to my game capture card that I use for my my video camera for web streaming and for and work and stuff like that. And I want to see if I can make this work as a time lapse. You know how sometimes technology, you really want it to work and it decides not to work quite the way that you want it to. So, it worked pretty well. On this side, it worked. And on this side, it stopped working about 1/3 of the way through. I don't know why. It just stopped recording. I think when the iPad tries to go to sleep, it messes with the recording. I think that's what happened is I let it go almost to sleep and it messed with the recording. So I ended up losing, of course, the good bit of this on this side. I got this side done and it worked pretty well, but there you go. How about we do one last side or one last little module here together, and so I can show you guys how this was working together. So we take out this little floor area in between. Let's go ahead and get that out of there, and we can fill that back in with stone. And we're creating this band that's going all the way through. The only place that it's broken is with the spruce log, which I think looks pretty nice, if I do say so myself. We gotta get rid of this because this is going to be another pillar. And the one thing I didn't do on this side was I didn't go through and clean out as much as I needed to. Silent is sleeping yet again. He's sleeping all night, man. He must be tired because he keeps sleeping. That's terrible. All right, I need to get a couple more of the stairs to finish up with really quick. We got 64 in here, so we don't have to craft anymore, which is really handy. Keep falling in the hole. But the first thing we need to do is clean out this area a little bit. Up 4 high. Because I didn't clean it out. Get rid of these guys. And then with this, we're going to go through and add some more spruce in. And one of the things I really like about that spruce is it adds some of that warmth to this stone. And there is a little bit of warmth in there. That kind of yellow, orangey color, I think looks pretty nice, if I do say so myself. Let's go ahead and get our spruce in here. Was that one too many? Nope. Oh, the server's going to start in 5 minutes. We got to hurry up. We got to get this done before that happens, because that's not where that goes. Oh, yes, it is. I just didn't put it on this side. I did forget one there, and I forgot one there. Did I forget one over here? Nope, I got one there. All right, we're good. I think this actually goes up there. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. I got to finish the ceiling as well, but we'll go ahead and get this last little module done. All right, now we need spruce behind to create that pillar there, and then we'll have another one right here. Add some stairs, maybe in the right location and the right orientation, neither of which those were. Put one here, one there. That looks right, and then we need to backfill this a little bit. Try to get a little bit of variety in here. We're getting pretty low on that. Let's see if I create a few more. We have some more cut stone. That should be enough, hopefully, to get us finished. I put a stair in the wrong orientation there, but we need another stair down here on the bottom. And then we can come back with our walls here and here and here. And then we just have these 4 walls right there. Then we need to come up here and we'll do this one, that one, that one, and that one. There we go. That adds a little bit of variety to it. Then we can add that up there and a couple of these guys right there. And I think that's it. That is it. That was the last module for both sides. As you can see, we are finished now, finally, with this. Now I just need to go through and do the ceiling really quick, and we'll be done. Booyah. And there we go. Just like that. There you go. I think the ceiling is for the most part done. I got this last little bit right here we can do together. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. The last of these spruce. And we're done with the ceiling. I'm going to go ahead and work on this a little bit later. I'm not going to worry about this today, partly because this is really dangerous. There's only one block here before we drop into lava, and I don't really feel like messing with it today, to be honest with you. But we will do that maybe in a live stream soon. This would be a really good thing to do. But what do you guys think? I think this turned out really well. Maybe it's it's maybe a hair ornate. I do find that maybe I get a little bit detailed on stuff sometimes, but it's always a little bit hard to tell how much is too much. I do want to put something behind this, actually. That's a good place for something like glowstone, but that would take a boatload of glowstone. Now I want to take you actually in here to the storage room really quick, because I don't think I've actually shown this on video finished. I worked on it a couple of streams, and I showed it in the last stream. So if you haven't seen that, please go check out the VOD, video on demand, there on the Twitches. Check out the description below for the Twitch channel. But here you go. Here's the finished storage room. I think the theme is consistent between both. So you kind of going down the hallway and you pop into here, and this is what you see in the Nether. You down the hallway in the Nether, and this is where you go. And we got all the shulkers on one side. We have all the empty ones on the other. These are the full ones that have been a little bit more organized. And then we have bulk storage down below. I actually haven't used that much bulk storage, and it's kind of a shame that I'm not going to get to use a whole lot of this before the end of season 1. But that's the way it goes sometimes. But I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Hope you like the way it turned out, and I really hope you like the way that this turns out. This is where I'm going to be building that little building that goes down to that's got the up and the down to the another portal down below. And I'm not quite 100% sure how I want to do this. I do think that building it out on this island is a good idea, but I feel like I want to connect it over to this one. There's one of two things I'm going to do. I'm either going to go ahead and fill this in and turn it into part of the mainland, or I'm going to terraform this side out, maybe dig it down a little bit more sheer, and then dig this side out. That might actually look really cool, and then have the building kind of span from this side to the other with this big arch that goes underneath with the waterway that goes underneath it. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and get to terraforming and making this thing look the shiz. Before you can build anything, you have to tear it up first. Well, okay, maybe that's not necessarily true, but that's certainly what I have to do here. So I did need to do a fair amount of destruction, as you saw me do here, and I'm just backfilling a little bit of this here. Hopefully I can get the water to get all the way back into there. Yeah, there we go. I think if I can get some of this will start spreading out, and that's exactly what we needed to help fill this back in before the sun starts going down. Come on. It shouldn't be too bad here, I don't think. But let me see if I can get up here onto the top and show you guys what the plan is now that I have kind of a rough idea. In fact, I gotta go sleep first really quick. But the idea behind this is I think I am going to go ahead and do this spanning building that goes over this little inlet or a little kind of waterway. And and connect these two sides together so that these guys will actually be coming up into the building. And so I think what I'm going to do, see if I can get back over here a little bit. It's a little bit better angle. There's going to be maybe two arches. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have an arch that comes out of this side and comes down into a structure that's sort of holding the building up. And then another one that kind of comes back up into that side. And then I'll do the same back over on the other side. But that when you're down, you'll be able to actually kind of see through it. And this will be this little shaft that kind of comes up in between those two pillars. And then the building will touch on both sides. What I'll probably do is have maybe, we'll come in on like a second floor here. So maybe I'll have to go up a little bit. And then on the other side, we'll have like a little garden terrace or something like that that's looking out over the water. I think that'll be pretty cool. It won't be a very big building, I don't think. We'll probably try and keep it maybe 1.5 stories. But we'll definitely want to do it in this style. So I'm going to need to gather a bunch of stone and some other things like that before that's going to work. But before we do that, let's go ahead and lay this thing out a little bit. Maybe we'll use some wool, some dirt, some cobble. It's going to be a little bit of a mess, but we need to lay out the basic shape of the building and some of the foundations and things like that. I think that's going to help us visualize it a little bit better, which is exactly what we need to do. So admittedly not the sexiest thing in the world, but this is going to be a bit of a complicated build. So I really need to do this kind of blocking out to really think about how this is going to fit together. And one of the things I realized when I started working on this, of course, is that you saw me start off with this red one coming right off the edge right here, and then I did one on the other side. They didn't quite line up, so I kind of had to extend them a little bit to get them to line up. And one of the things that I'm doing here that I don't do very often is I'm going to do this at a diagonal, which I thought would be kind of a fun challenge, not only for myself, but also to add a little bit of character to the neighborhood. Everything else in here is kind of a square build. And one of the other things I thought I'd point out really quickly is on this building over here that Zloy created. That's a bit of a cathedral. It has these flying buttresses like the Notre Dame, which, of course, went to that big fire last year. But that's kind of what those things are. Those are called flying buttresses. And that's the structure on the outside of the building that kind of holds it almost like a tent. Sometimes you'll see poles on the outside to kind of hold the tent hanging from it. That's essentially kind of what that same structure is doing. And I'm beginning to think maybe I should do something similar. The thing that I'm uncertain of, if you look at this one, is the orientation is, right here is this kind of front door, and then it's kind of going left to right. And so my thought is that if I had, this is a little bit hard to describe, I could have blocked it out first. So you have this coming up and then down. So you have the peak on this side, same sort of extreme peaks that you see on some of these buildings, go up really high and back down again. Then we'll have another entrance that's on this side through this big plaza that's coming up to it. And so that's what this is meant to be, is this plaza, because I don't think I want the building to come out this far. It would be just too massive of a building. I want it to set back a little bit. So I'm thinking about how I'm going to make that sit on top of this structure. And one of the things I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this pillar that's already pretty massive, but I'm going to bring it up higher and then kind of thin it out a little bit. And then what I'll do is on one side, I'm going to have it curve in and hold this up. And on this side, I'm going to have it curve in and hold this lower area. So there'll be like a lower area that you have to go out to onto another plaza that's overlooking the water. So this will actually be 2 stories, and I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to have both the shafts at the upper and lower stories. I think that'd be kind of interesting if you can come in at the top and drop down, or when you come up through it, that you can come up to that lower level, or something along those lines. But that's what we're going to do in the next episode, because we are out of time for this episode, unfortunately. But things are going really well. I'm really excited about how these things are going. I'm looking forward to having this building completed before the end of season 1. And you might ask, well, why BJ? Hey BJ, why are you working on this so hard at the end of season 1, considering you've only gotten 10 episodes in for the whole season? Well, that's because I'm excited for season 2. And I need to get back into the habit and back into the swing of doing these things on a regular basis, getting episodes out. And plus, I just kind of want to finish off the season with a little bit of a bang. I want to have some cool builds show up for the rest of my compatriots, my Truly Bedrockers. And I think they would all really, really appreciate it. And we can't end the season and not have a proper end portal building. And the fact that we've made it this far in the season is a bit of a shame, quite frankly. But thank you all very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the episode, maybe hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. 1,100 of you have so far. And so this has actually been an amazing first season in terms of growth on the channel, especially considering I haven't been able to get out a lot of episodes this season. But next season is going to be a very different story. I already have big plans ready to go, and I'm super excited. So thank you all very much for watching. We will see you guys in the next episode of Truly Bedrock Season 1, because we're going to have at least 2 or 3 more episodes. Thank you all very much for watching. Bye-bye.